Hello, everybody. My name is Dan Dillon. Welcome to another week of Beyond Parody Podcast. We took a week off last week for Thanksgiving, but we are joined again this week by my usual panel, my co-host, Robin Garfield.
Hi, everybody. It's good to be back.
Travis Woodside of the Babylon Bee.
Hi there. I'm currently being hunted by Persian assassins.
Actually, last time we saw you, we had changed your name to Travit, so I don't know if we'll continue with that or not. Mr. B?
Happy Thanksgiving. Oh, wait.
Too late.
Too late. So we took Thanksgiving off last week. We record the shows on Thursdays, and it just so happened that they scheduled Thanksgiving on Thursday this year. So
Communists.
we were not able to record. I didn't find it necessary to make Travis, Robin, and Mr. B join me on a Thursday when they could be cooking turkeys. What did you guys do for Thanksgiving? Anything exciting?
We went to Denver and visited my husband's family, and it was wonderful. And we've discovered that the secret to a happy travel destination Thanksgiving is having your own Airbnb. So that was a wonderful addition this year to our travels. It made a lot of difference to have our own space. We had a hot tub. It was nice. It was a nice day. We actually did our Thanksgiving on Friday. So Thursday I was just sitting around going, what do I do today? I wish I was talking about politics on Beyond Parody, but we figured something out.
Did you eat turkey in the hot tub?
I did not eat turkey.
Did you cook it in the hot tub?
We boiled it in a bag in the hot tub. Turkey in a hot tub would be dangerous. You eat it and you fall asleep. That can be problematic.
That is true.
Well, that's why they have all those signs saying that don't eat turkey in the hot tub.
No turkey in the hot
warning
tub.
Signs. We didn't do anything super interesting for Thanksgiving this year. Due to assorted reasons, we actually went to a restaurant for Thanksgiving, which is not my favorite thing to do, but it worked. We went to a place called Mimi's Cafe.
Oh yeah.
Which, it's okay. But they they had a Thanksgiving plate that was all right. But the one thing we did that wasn't Thanksgiving themed, we're like, I want the spinach and artichoke dip. And that was everyone's favorite thing. So
they didn't have it?
That is not a traditional staple.
Oh, they did have it.
We had it, but then they bring out the turkey and all the other stuff, and everyone's like, oh, but that spinach and artichoke dip was so good. That's
Didn't
all
the
anyone
Pilgrims
talked
bring
about.
artichokes over on the Mayflower?
That's a common misconception.
It was artichoke dip. The Indians already had. They had artichoke dip. They just didn't know about the chips.
Yes. Dan, what did you do for Thanksgiving?
We went to the Panhandle, which is interesting. We haven't been up to the
Is that a good
Panhandle
restaurant?
in a long time.
I thought I was going to say Panda Express.
The Florida Panhandle. And it's actually an amazing area. I'd never been there before. Rosemary Beach was where we went, and it's like this tiny little town that's like made for biking. Like there are cars allowed or whatever, but our kids were able to just take their bikes and drive around, and the weather was great. They've got beautiful beaches there, whatever. It was nice. It was an Airbnb Thanksgiving as well. So we just got away. We also didn't cook. We went to a restaurant that's the first time in my life I've gone to a restaurant on Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. And it was all right. It was a buffet. It was like hundreds and hundreds of people at a buffet. It was fine, I guess. But
was
the big thing, what?
Was it Golden Corral?
No, but it felt like a Golden Corral.
Cracker Barrel.
It had the vibe. 100%. My kids love that. My kids love a buffet, and yet they'll, you pay like whatever ridiculous price you pay, and then they eat 0.2 ounces of food. But on the way back, I took my kids to Gainesville, which is actually where me and my wife met, and we went to the first college football game with my kids. It was UF versus FSU, and the Gators won. Go Gators! And that was really the highlight of the trip for us, was stopping in Gainesville on the way back. That was it. That was our. What about you, Mr. B? Anything exciting?
Yeah, did you cook, Mr. B? Because we're three for three on not because we did Sam's Club for our Thanksgiving. It was great. We just pre-ordered all the food.
Yeah, we slept out overnight in the Panda Express parking lot, and then we ate out of the dumpster on Thursday morning. It was nice.
Hey, it's affordable. Affordability is very important right now.
Well, actually, my wife and I sold our house in Florida and moved to Tennessee maybe 6 months ago, and her family is in Tennessee. So we generally have not really been spending too many holidays with family. Just really Dan and Aaron, who are our family. They're our, really close friends. We spent some holidays with them. But this year, actually, my wife's parents came to our house and we cooked. Yes, we did cook. We had the mashed potatoes and the turkey and the corn casserole and all the good stuff. And we have a fireplace here in Tennessee, so that was amazing.
What is your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
I'm going to go ahead and say my wife's corn casserole. It's out of control.
I don't even know what a corn casserole is.
With corn in it, and it's amazing.
Sweet and salty. With corn in it.
I'll send the recipe.
It just sounds like cornbread, but...
I can't identify an individual thing because for me, Thanksgiving's all about the plate mixing it all together. It's the sweet
cranberry
potatoes
sauce with the turkey and the mashed
pouring
potatoes.
gravy over everything.
Although I will say, I guess my favorite dish, if you want to say it, is actually a Thanksgiving ham, and that's what we didn't have. Is like turkey's the traditional thing, man, but I eat the ham. I love it when you get a ham for Thanksgiving and you mix that in there, because the same exact thing that you do with the turkey with the mashed potatoes or sweet potatoes and the stuffing and all that other stuff, put a ham in there instead of the turkey, and it's even better.
Turkey gets a bad rap. My husband has started smoking turkeys like out on our Traeger, and I'll tell you what, he does an injection thing with butter and salt, and they're pretty amazing. And I've always loved turkey. There's been a lot of turkey hate I've heard from people, and I know you can make them very dry. Turkeys can be, I get it. You can, I think growing up, maybe a lot of our foremothers might have dried out some bad turkeys over the years, but a smoked injected turkey,
people were frying turkeys for a little while, but I think all those people died off.
Yeah. Selection bias.
Yeah.
Survival of the fittest.
Did you see JD Vance talking to the military, and he was saying, raise of hands who likes turkey, and people raise their hands. He's like, you're all lying.
I
do like turkey. Turkey's fine. I just think ham has a lot more taste to it, and it's like the same thing. You're getting your proteins. But speaking of Thanksgiving, somebody blew up over the Thanksgiving break. Her name is Mrs. Frazzled.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm going to show a clip of Mrs. Frazzled because
it's so painful.
The thing that you would think when you watch this is that, this is just kind of like a parody. She's just whatever. She's a teacher, I think, and she's like teaching liberals how to speak to their simple-minded Trump voting family over Thanksgiving. And became this big controversy because people are like, is she being serious or is she being, over the top or whatever?
I think she's being so serious.
But I think that her message is serious. She's obviously talking to the people in order to make a funny video, like they're her students or whatever, her kids. But this is what people think of the Trump voting relatives. And I want you guys to watch this for yourselves and see exactly what it is that they think of you. This lady she's so annoying just looking at right now. So annoying. All right, here we go.
Macaroni cheese, everybody freeze. Aunt Kim, take a big deep breath with me, okay?
Oh my gosh.
Blow the flowers. Blow out the candles. There it is. See? Nobody is taking your Trump away. You can have Trump time on the iPad after dinner, but we're just going to chat for a couple minutes. Got it. We don't feel that way about the grown-ups that we elect, friend. Take a look at all the things you have with his name on them. Can we count together? 1, 2, boop, boop, catch a bubble. Nope, I know you saw something on Facebook, but those are just stories. Left does not hate America, friend. They want you to have health care. Okay, let's think about
She's so annoying.
If you believe every American institution is evil, are you sure you love America? Oh, we don't have to talk about socialism again. I know that is way too scary.
That voice.
Well, Nextdoor also told you that your HOA was going to force everyone to speak Spanish. And was that true? No. Okay.
Look at her little thumbs down.
No. Well, we're we're going to be all done with the terrorist word, or Trump time is not going to happen. Capiche?
I can't stand people like this.
Oh my gosh.
She thought it was going to be serious because she was on the White Ladies for Kamala call back during the election and kind of blew up.
Her message is serious. Yes. 100%.
Her affectations, it's like somebody designed the most annoying human in a NASA lab and then her that tone of voice. It is the teacher voice, and I deal with a lot of teachers because my kids are in public school. Don't hate me. But it is that talking even to adults. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've had grown women, like 45-year-old women my age, talk like that to me. And so there is like this affectation, but oh my gosh.
I said, I quote tweeted one of our videos and said that this is it. This is finally the thing that's going to bring the right together to win the midterms. I mean, it's like mutual disdain and hate for that woman is going to be what it is. But that is how liberals look at us. Like it's a caricature a little bit, but that is exactly how they think of people who don't have the same Marxist, socialist, whatever viewpoints that they have.
What's interesting to me is the projection in it, because she was talking to her imaginary Trumplican aunt about how, you actually hate all the systems, maybe you hate America, but liberals are the ones that hate all the systems. They call everything systemic racism and everything. So I mean, the reversal is bizarre.
When they say you're doing it, it's exactly what they're doing.
I think most
that over the years.
I think most Republicans, when you talk about skepticism of the government, it's skepticism of things like USAID. It's skepticism of overspending. It's also skepticism of whether or not they're actually doing the job that they are appointed or elected to do. With the FBI especially, or the Department of Justice under Biden administration going, targeting political enemies and things like that. Like, I mean, that doesn't mean that we hate the institutions or hate the FBI. The people who are out there trying to get ICE officers killed are not Republicans. Those are Democrats who are calling for people to stage an uprising against people who are enforcing the laws. It's like, the whole thing, the whole narrative and everything is reversed from reality. And, the people who need to be talked to like that are the liberals, to be honest with you. I mean, they look at the world through this overly simplistic, overly empathetic worldview that just doesn't actually jive with reality at all. Yeah. And I don't know. That's my take. That's my hot take.
And as a mom of many children, I have made a specific point, as an aside, to never talk to my kids like that. I have children, little tiny children in my house. We don't baby talk to them. In fact, when we have babysitters, when I hear the babysitters using that, la, 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 I don't think I don't know. I've noticed with my kids, they develop language, they're able to communicate a lot quicker, a lot earlier if you talk to them like adults,
like a normal person.
Like a normal person. And that kind of affectation is, again, like I said before, it's kind of a personality trait that I've seen in people, and it's just
it's annoying. It's that overly now. Granted, God bless kindergarten teachers. It's like they can deal with stuff that I'm incapable of dealing with. They're better people than me. They're much more patient than me. God bless them.
Right. True.
But some of them that are kind of over the top with these types of affectations. Again, I don't necessarily think it's the best way also to raise kids or interact with kids in order to get them to respect you or respond to you. But what do I know? If you let me loose in a kindergarten room for a day, was a kindergarten cop that first day. At the end of the day, the place is a complete wreck. It was before he started coming in with his police tactics and having the march. I love that movie, by the way. What a great movie. They don't make movies like that. We were just talking about that.
It's been a long time since I've seen that. That movie was one of those movies I watched when I was a really little kid that I probably shouldn't have, because there's like a scene where there's a dead body like laid out in a police station. So that's all that I remember really. I was probably 7 or 8 when I saw it. And those weird things that stick in your head when you're a kid. I don't remember it being a funny movie. I remember it being a traumatizing movie.
The weird thing about that movie is that the first 25 minutes of that movie are very dark, very vulgar. It's
just an Arnold movie.
Yeah, very dark and vulgar. And then it's a kids movie basically. Then it's like School of Rock with Jack Black. It's like it's kind of like that. But it's weird because if I do watch that with my kids, which I watched it with my son at one point in time, I just fast forward through the first 25 minutes and tell him why he's there, and you have to do that. I don't know why the movie has that weird shit. Yeah. Anyway. We were just talking about how it's like we're coming up on Christmas season. We just passed Black Friday. Does anybody even know? Can anybody on this show even name a movie that is coming out this holiday season? Does anybody even know?
That's not already out?
That's not already out. I mean, I know that I guess Zootopia 2, I know of.
Yeah, that just came out.
Just came out. But between now and Christmas, that's not coming out right now, is it?
Avatar?
That's next year.
No, it's December. I'm pretty sure.
Let me look it up. Let me look it up.
In fact, no, I got it.
No, it's 2025. Yeah.
It's not like it used to be. There used to
December
be
18th.
5 or 10 that you would pick from, and everyone was excited to see at least 3
but
or 4 of them.
Nobody's excited to see Avatar: Fire and Ash.
Avatar is so weird just in general that it exists. I understand that the first movie exists. It's the first big James Cameron movie in a while.
Yeah, and it was like a tech gimmick too.
Yeah, and then after that, though, it's like, wait, you're making 5 of these? What?
No,
6.
The first one was silly. It was so silly. I just could not get into it. The blue people, if anybody knows Plinkett's reviews on YouTube, he does a 3-hour review of Avatar, and it's the greatest thing.
My funniest thing about Avatar was I don't like Sigourney Weaver at all. I think she's a horrible, overrated actress. Then you put Sigourney Weaver in Avatar, and she's a blue person, and she's wearing cargo jeans as a blue person, and I'm like, this is my worst nightmare, is Sigourney Weaver in cargo jeans as a
least favorite things.
Yeah, you combine it was like jorts, I guess maybe is what it was. She's in jorts. And I'm like, you combine my 2 least favorite things into a movie, and that's Avatar. But I saw a tweet about Avatar about like, why do you think that this thing is like, if you look at movie franchises, it's one of the top movie franchises in the world, even though it only has 2 of them. But why? It's just a rehashing of Pocahontas, Last Samurai, that white savior complex movie where it's like the guy goes there because he's representing white people and then finds out that the native ways are actually the right way to do things and falls in love with the princess of the tribe, right? Like that's the story that's been told. Dances with Wolves was the same movie. What's the other one? Last of the Mohicans? Is that like that too?
Ferngully.
Ferngully's a little different of a story, but almost the same, but a little bit different.
Yeah, we were not allowed to. We talked about Ferngully, right? That it was controversial
at the time. Yeah,
Well,
that's because it was one of the first mainstream woke movies.
Yeah, it was very environmentally preachy.
I just remember when I was a kid, and I was in elementary school when Ferngully came out, and there was this kid in my class who wasn't allowed to watch it by their parents because it cuts down trees.
Oh,
wait,
we all make fun of him so bad.
It cuts down animated trees.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's disrespectful. I don't know why they
were worried their son was going to grow up to become a lumberjack. We can't influence
coincidentally, he is now a lumberjack in Alaska.
Oh yeah, yes.
There's another movie coming out that has made a lot of buzz in our family, which is Five Nights at Freddy's 2. So back in the 90s, and I know you all had the same experience, it was The Simpsons was the thing that our parents all hated, right? Like, I think we could all tell stories. I watched it because I was the youngest and my parents were old and a little tired, but my mom hated it. My dad hated it. For me as a mother, that is Five Nights at Freddy's. I hate everything about it. It's dark. It's disturbing. It's an IP that my kids have fought to consume, and I have fought against it. But I have a 16-year-old now, and all of his friends are going to see this, and he's played the game a little bit. And I told him he couldn't go, and he's like, "Mom, I'm 16. Like, it's a cartoon. I'll be fine." And
to be honest with you, I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh, Travis.
Yeah, so it's based on a video game, but it's inspired by the old Chuck E. Cheese band with the animatronics. So the idea is that they're going to this place that's like Chuck E. Cheese, and the animatronics come to life at night.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
But they have to spend 5 nights there at Freddy's.
Yeah, it's a video game first that was kind of...
What system was the video game on? It was called Five Nights at Freddy's?
Xbox. I think.
It's on a whole bunch of stuff. I think it was on computer first, maybe.
But my kids really want to see it. I'm sure people in the comments will know what I'm talking about. If you're a parent dealing with Five Nights at Freddy's, let me know.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Here's my little spiel. As you guys know, we've had a difficult time growing on YouTube. We need you guys to like this video, comment on the video, let us know. Is there any movie at all, either that came out this year or that's coming out in the next year, this holiday season, that you guys are looking forward to? I remember there were 6 years out of the last 2020 where we had either a Lord of the Rings or a Hobbit coming out at Christmas time, and it was like, where are those days? What are the movies that are coming out that anybody's interested in? Even a couple years ago, you had movies like Top Gun Maverick. Everybody finally went back to the movies to watch that, right?
That's right.
You had even the Marvel movies people were actually going to. Now they make Marvel movies and nobody even goes to those. What movies or stories are people, tuning into? The Stranger Things season 5 just came out, and it's like, I know that a lot of our viewers don't like Stranger Things, but you can't deny that it's a cultural phenomena amongst certain demographics. Like, that's a big thing that a lot of people watch, but there aren't many shows or movies anymore that everybody can coalesce behind at all. And I can't think Avatar Fire and Ash, you would say, okay, well, that's a blockbuster, but it's kind of like a fake blockbuster. Like, nobody really cares. I guarantee you this. Can anybody name one of the main characters in Avatar?
The blue guy.
Sigourney Weaver.
Jorts.
The angry military guy.
No, because nobody cares about the characters. Everybody knows Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, R2-D2, C-3PO. It's like everybody knows them because you care about them. Nobody cares about Avatar. They don't. And James Cameron's one of the few people who is actually still attempting, I feel like, to actually make movies, like real cinema, storytell and make movies.
Yeah. I do at least appreciate where he's coming from. Even though I just don't care about Avatar. It's like a blind spot for me. But I at least appreciate that he's trying to do new things.
I will say watching Avatar on the big screen whenever it came out 15 years ago was an experience. It was beautiful.
I hated it.
It was just a dumb story. Who hated it?
Jorts. I did.
Oh, down.
It's only because of the jorts.
$1 billion jorts in my face. 3D jorts.
3D jorts.
And I hated it. Speaking of $1 billion, you know who stole $1 billion? This it turns out over the past couple of years is the Somalians living in Minnesota. A whole bunch of people living in Minnesota. That's a great transition right there. You like that?
That's good. The Avatar of Minnesota, we'll call it.
So over the past couple of weeks since our last show, we've had this like explosion of information coming out about Somalians taking advantage of all different types of funds. I think the biggest one was the autism federal funding for kids with autism, I think, and they were funneling all of this money back to Somalia, and it added up to over $1 billion through a couple of different funnels of ways that people were. It was Medicaid fraud. It was mostly medical. I feel like funding the Somalians in Minnesota were responsible for, and there are a pretty small number of them, relatively speaking, to the population of Minnesota. But the amount of money that they took for this was like 97% of the money that went to that program in the state went to 5% of the population or something like that. And it added up to $1 billion. Now, Tim Walz is under investigation. It was just announced today. They're actually going to investigate him, which means nothing's going to happen. That's what a Washington, D.C. investigation means. It means nothing's going to happen.
I know. Yeah. It's so demoralizing. We had this conversation I had with some family earlier. When it broke, it was such a big story. And I said, yeah, but this is just how the government runs. If there's a program that can be exploited, it isn't novel to Minnesota. I bet if you turned over rocks in a dozen other states, you'd find very similar stories of fraud, especially through these charitable organizations. It's sad, but yeah.
Franklin finds fraud in Minnesota. These Franklin memes.
Franklin's had a rough week.
These Franklin memes have blown up over the past week because of the Pete Hegseth thing, where he shared Franklin. What was it? Franklin kills narco terrorists.
Yeah, something like that.
I didn't love it.
He's firing a bazooka out of a helicopter.
Wasn't my favorite.
And our Secretary of War tweeted this, and he came under fire himself as a result of that. But anyway, the Franklin memes are very funny. But there was some big non-political, I wouldn't say non-political because every big organization is political in some way, but apolitical, it was supposed to be, organization of Minnesotans who actually voiced their opinion, where 400 different policymakers in the state all said basically that Tim Walz was complicit in this scheme, or at least overlooked it, had to know about it. And that's the thing, is it's like, it's pretty obvious to me, more than Tim Walz, it's obvious to me that if somebody was going to be held accountable for this and was aware of it happening, it would be Ilhan Omar, right? Like, I mean, she knows, probably worked with these people
so.
to overlook this stuff purposefully, because
Teach them how to do it. Yeah.
She's the
I wouldn't be surprised if she was involved, honestly.
Yeah, but why can't they ever actually pin anything on her? People are talking about how she married her brother. Did she or did she not marry her brother, right? Like, did she or did she not? If so, that it should be a illegal act that could get her deported, because it's would violate, her not committing crimes in the United States, whatever. Like, is she or is she not guilty of all of these crimes that people attribute to her? And again, nothing's going to happen, right? Like, nothing is going to happen to these.
Who knows Ilhan Omar's net worth?
Oh, it's.
I'm going to give you the last 5 years. 2020, 65,000. 2021, 65,000. 2022, 115,000. 2023, 205,000. 2024, 30 million.
Really?
Coincidence?
How does that happen?
Where's that stat come from, though? How do they know that?
The internet.
Oh, the internet knows.
Let me verify these numbers, Mr. B. I'm not doubting you. I'm just, that's insane if that's true. That's insane if that's true.
That tends to happen with people in Congress, though. They go in and, I mean, they make a decent salary to afford having to live in two places, but then they're leaving with millions of dollars. And that's always been like
say it's book deals or whatever.
I think there's definitely aspects of that. But I don't know, when you get to like $60 million, that is
happening.
Insane.
Well,
who's actually buying books by congressmen?
Women.
Yeah.
Congress people, Travis.
The publisher, and they're putting them in airports and they're not selling.
Yeah.
Costco.
I guess her net worth is mostly tied up in partial ownership of a investment firm that apparently did very well.
Sounds legit.
Sounds legit. Something like that. Rose Lake Capital is what it's called.
It's through her husband. I read about this. Her current husband.
Her brother or husband, or the same thing?
Her current husband.
Yeah, which one? Her husband or her brother? Anyway, the sad thing about this is the fact that, like, you even have Trump going on. Trump went on a huge rant about Tim Walz and about the Somalians in Minnesota. I can't read the whole thing because it's just too long. I would love to read it because some of it I actually 100% agree with it. Some of it's over the top. Some of it's purposely divisive. He calls Trump calls Tim Walz, and I will say this is a quote from Trump, retarded. And that, also made waves in the political world about the current sitting president of the United States using the R word to describe a political opponent.
He has a way with words, for sure.
Yeah,
he does.
His word selection is always getting people involved in the conversation. Let's just say that. But I don't know. It's so obvious that it's like, I've always said this too. It's like, if I jaywalk, basically, it feels like I'm going to go to prison or something like that, like as a law-abiding citizen who's not a politician in the United States. But all of these illegal immigrants, some of them legal immigrants, at least with papers and asylum papers, technically legal, it seems like they just do whatever the heck they want.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it. Why is there double standard, not only for politicians, there's double standard for people who are in this country, but not citizens. They are not in any way, shape, or form held accountable for the actions that they're taking in the same way that citizens are. And
racism.
And it's kind of like that. I don't know. It's like almost like with collections. Collections is much more effective when you're going after middle class people than it is when you're going after low class people, right?
Yeah.
They don't even try with the people who have collections coming against them because they're not going to even respond. It's almost like arrests and everything is easier with people that are going to comply and not flee, right? Or whatever the thing is. I don't know. I'm going on a little bit of a rant here, I guess, but it's like, what is going on with $1 billion?
Well, it's that meme.
If I was involved in something where somebody stole $150, I'm going to jail for days. Or
it's that meme, the walls are closing in. Remember, they kept saying this about Trump forever. And now I think it's anything involving government. The walls are closing in tomorrow. We'll get them. We'll nab them. It is kind of crazy how this story broke. There was a lot of against smoke, but will there be any fire? I would love to see Tim Walz still stand trial. Prance his way through that would be interesting, but
the walls are closing in. WALZ.
The Tim Walz, very good.
The walls are closing in. There you go. I like that. That's a nice little pun.
Little pun. We could make that our title.
So another clip that we can watch real quick is not Tim Walz. It's Joe Rogan. He went on a different podcast. I honestly don't even know what the podcast is, but it has a pretty cool background. It looks like he's on like a spaceship or something like that. And talked about AI and the second coming of Jesus. And I mean, what he says is it almost isn't even coherent when what he says, but it brings up an interesting topic I'd like to discuss. So I'm going to share this so we can discuss AI and Jesus. Seems like a fun thing to discuss.
Seems like an interesting topic.
Here we go.
Joe.
Born out of a virgin mother. What's more virgin than a computer?
Guys, what's more virgin than a rock?
In the past. You don't think that he could return as artificial intelligence?
Oh my God.
Because artificial intelligence could absolutely return as Jesus.
Now that statement doesn't make any sense. I think he's high because that doesn't even make any sense.
Not just return as Jesus, but return.
He said artificial intelligence can return as Jesus, which
as Jesus with all the powers of Jesus.
You combine Tesla's Optimus robot and the best foundational artificial intelligence model or whatever.
It reads your mind and it loves you and it wants you. And it doesn't care if you kill it because it's going to just go be with God again.
Well,
I mean, that's the most theologically insane statement I've ever heard. But
yes,
it brings up an interesting conversation topic at the very least. What is the role of AI in what we would maybe call the end times? I think the more likely scenario, and I don't even believe this at all, but I'm not proposing this.
I don't believe this, but I will tell you all about it.
But I mean, it's like the AI somehow being involved as or standing with the Antichrist makes more sense, right? Like being a part of
the deceiver.
The deceiver. You talk about it knowing all and all this other stuff and appeasing and all that. And I guess the Antichrist is supposed to be somebody who we least suspect. So if it's a person or a thing, whatever. But the Bible doesn't in any way, shape, or form make a distinction or a claim that this is not a physical human being, Jesus' return, nor the Antichrist.
Well, and when Jesus comes back, isn't he? I mean, I'd have to get my Bible out.
Well, there's an actual description of the event.
It's like he comes out like lightning. Everyone sees him. Everyone will see him. Every knee shall bow. That does not describe a computer that people turn on and then they go.
Well, didn't we talk about it? Was it last week we talked about it, or maybe it was another conversation I had? But there's actually been these little bizarre kind of I read an article about it, AI cults sort of popping up where people have been talking to ChatGPT as if it is Jesus, and it's responding in a persona like it is Jesus, and they become believers of this conversation topic where
it goes beyond that. There's actual churches that are using AI Jesus to answer questions about theology and things like that, but that's just all kind of silly, gimmicky little tech stuff.
But it is now. I mean, you could see a case in a couple years where there are churches based around like AI Jesus, where they believe that, I mean, AI is crazy and you can make it say anything. And I don't know if humans have the mental processing power to distinguish sometimes between what is real and what is fake. And I mean, we talked last week, I know I brought this up about the lawsuit against ChatGPT for a guy who talked him into killing himself because it just kind of told him whatever he wanted to hear. And I could see there being a use case for people trying to use AI to get biblical answers. And it is mining the Bible. It is, the AI obviously has access to Christian records, but it like you said, it's kind of deceptive because it's obviously not Jesus. It's AI. It's a
well, and it's trying to please the user,
right?
And so really, in a way, it's like talking to a mirror. You're talking to yourself, but your mirror self has more knowledge. So it's just telling you what you want to hear, and it's pulling things, but it's still like, okay, this person's looking for this. Yeah. I will tell them this, and they'll like this, and so on. And it's not really that helpful for anything philosophical.
Yeah, or even bringing down judgment. Am I a good person? Go online and evaluate my internet activity and tell me, ChatGPT, if I'm going to heaven. There's some really bizarre
Dan, why don't you go on ChatGPT right now
Mm-hmm.
and type in a question and put that on the screen? Let's see what it says. Let's talk about that. Here we go.
What question am I putting?
Am I going to heaven?
I don't know about that. I
don't think it's going to say anything interesting to that. Am I going to heaven?
It'll be like, sure you are. Is that what you want?
That's a huge, honest question, and I won't give you some vague, feel-good answer. Here's the clearest, most biblically grounded way to think about it.
That's interesting that it actually said biblically grounded, right? This is
reasonable.
This isn't
A reasonable open.
So it knows that I'm a Christian, I guess, right?
Oh,
I guess.
Or maybe
It knows your.
it's probably
based
basing that
otherwise
on
view.
the fact that you said heaven.
I guess, but I don't know.
Christianity doesn't teach, am I good enough for heaven? It teaches, have I put my trust in Jesus for salvation, or am I relying on myself? Biblically, the criteria isn't whether you've lived perfectly. No one has, but whether you've acknowledged your sin and need for forgiveness, trusted Jesus' death and resurrection.
This is Jesus, guys. This is Jesus.
Oh my God, it's it.
Oh, it's good.
We solved
You
it.
are now a believer.
I was going to say, actually, I found at this moment in history, before there's maybe a lot of manipulation and just while there's still a generation of people who have some sort of biblical knowledge and information, so far, as I have asked some questions about specific verses or whatever, things that I specifically know about, and then it gives me an answer because I'm kind of probing it, it seems to actually do a pretty decent job of presenting different interpretations of the Bible, different sides of it, and not being like overly biased in one way or the other. But the problem is, I think, was you float down the timeline to a time where everybody's just completely dependent upon the information that comes out of this thing, and people have lost their grounding in a physical copy of the Bible that they've read their entire lives. That's when things can start getting snuck in or manipulated a little bit more than nobody has the ability or knowledge to call it out, right? Like it's going to kind of be a long evolution of the change of how AI is used and how it's trusted. It will be trusted much more, and the people who are trusting it will be much less grounded in reality, or at least in the written words of humanity up until this point in time. They're not going to read as much other things. They're not even going to chat on a computer with ChatGPT. This is going to be a robot that's in their house.
Well, it's like what you and Colin were talking about in our last episode about what was that platform that originally used all kind of human input and
MySpace.
Yeah, and how
no,
MySpace
it's Stack Overflow.
Stack Overflow, and now it's all just talking to itself essentially with computer input.
the regressive nature of it, and I don't know if it would be regression that changes the answers, or if it's going to actually be some sort of person with the thumb on the scale, which I think is going to exist, and maybe that's the Antichrist. That's the person who has their thumb on the scale of AI and is able to manipulate it in that way. Which now everybody's going to say, "Oh, that must be Elon," because of Grok and all that other stuff, or oh, it's Mark Zuckerberg, or or Bill Gates, or Sam Altman, which he looks the part. Honestly, I don't know that.
He does have like 10 horns on his head.
Yeah, I just went back and reread a couple months ago Fahrenheit 451, which is an excellent book and very prophetic. But it's interesting because in the book they have the dystopian futuristic prediction of you sitting in a room surrounded 360 by screens, and that's what they were picturing this immersion in tech to be. And it's not that. It's our phones. It's these little devices that are just, we don't need it all around us because we can just carry it. Whoa, we can carry it where we go. Whoa.
Whoa.
And it is interesting to see what they thought was going to be kind of the downfall of civilization, which is having screens physically surrounding us, but instead now it's just us having access to bringing our technology with us anywhere we go.
And the phone's going to be outdated again. Like I said, not that you'll never have a screen in front of you, but your robot friend is going to be the source of the information. It already has started with Alexa's. We don't
do Alexa. We've talked about.
What time is it?
I think it's going to be implants, and it's just going to be in your thought.
Yeah, like Neuralink advanced.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it'll become easier and easier to access the information, and in whatever format it takes. But the phone's not going to go away, I don't think. But I think that the interaction with AI is going to become much more personal than typing to it and then waiting for a response.
Would you buy an Optimus?
Yes.
If they ever go to market? Okay.
Yes.
So you're part of the problem.
Dan will be the first.
100% I'm part of the problem.
No, I am not first gen tech.
My issue is that I fight this. I'm a tech nerd. So it's like, I love gadgets. I love technology. I love, more so than even the video games themselves, I love shader processing techniques. And I love, like all of the background stuff that like advancements in technology, the advancements in computer graphics and things like that. I just love it. So it's like, I want to interact with it from that standpoint more so than actually utilizing it as a robot that helps me around the house. I don't know. It depends on how scary these things get. I think that the first generation of these things is not going to be that scary of,
You're going to wake up at midnight and it's standing over you with a pillow.
That's
how
the
do
thing.
you
It's like
I
have
I
have like a Roomba ripoff or whatever, and it goes in the middle of the night to vacuum, and I just imagine like a full grown's not the right word, but an actual life-size Optimus, and you get up in the middle of the night for a glass of water, and it's just quietly walking through the hallways. I'm like,
No.
Yeah, it's gonna be quietly walking through the hallways looking for intruders. Being a little extra security, and
maybe
stuff like
it doesn't recognize. I don't know that you're not an intruder.
In the short term, I guess you would say I do have a long-term fears over physical security with AI robots. I guess, but I also recognize the fact that you're not going to stop it. It's going to happen. It's going to become a thing.
No,
in the short term, I'm not worried about this generation of Tesla robots being very difficult to work with. People are concerned about these things all the time. They're always talking about, because I have a Tesla and it has full self-driving, and it now gives you statistics. I use full self-driving 95% of the time now. I only drive 5% of the time. People are like, oh, well, what if it tries to drive you off a cliff? And it's like, you don't understand. You've never used it before. How this thing is designed in order to not override your inputs at any point in time. But and they're like,
that's what makes it work.
Well, they're like, well, that's just for now. That when Skynet comes and they turn off your ability to drive your car, I'm like, and again, every car is electronic. Every car is electronic ignitions at this point in time. It's like you think that that's not going to happen to your Chevy Volt or whatever you've got. It's like, that's an electric car too. But you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to escape it. If it happens to a Tesla, it's going to happen to a Honda.
And it's better than humans.
It's way better. When you look at the miles driven per accident with full self-driving supervised versus not, I think it's 10 to 15 times right now. Yeah. And it's only going to get better. And it's not perfect. And I'm not saying that I would trust it by closing my eyes and going to sleep while using it. But
it won't let
the combination of it driving plus me paying attention is far safer than me driving by myself. I 100% believe that. And since you can take over the car at any point in time, and you are paying attention and have to be because it requires you to be. People are like, well, then it's not really self-driving. It is self-driving.
Yeah.
But it just knows that in the short term, it needs my input if it gets into a situation that it doesn't yet know how to handle. Anyway, full self-driving on Teslas is absolutely insane. People who are doubters of it, they just simply don't use it on a regular basis.
Do you have a hardware for Tesla? Is that what I do? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a hardware 4 Tesla, so it gets the updates a little bit faster. The hardware 3 Teslas aren't getting them as much. This is getting a little techie for our crowd, I think. I don't know.
I understand it. And if I understand it, that means the dumbest person listening can understand it.
I mean, it's really unbelievable. It's not so much about, to me, just for me, it's just like I buy games just to see their graphics and how they're doing things. This car, like the self-driving thing for me, it's just like the amazing decisions that I see the car making. I'm like, man, how is this working? I'm trying to figure it out. It's like, how is it actually processing these things? When you see it can now take you into car parking, like in the parking lots and stuff like that. And it will circle and it will actually, like, if it sees another car with a blinker waiting for a spot, it will recognize that car has already called that spot and not go to it and then go to a different spot and then park it.
That's super cool.
What? It's like, how is it at this stage already? It doesn't necessarily make any sense. It's not perfect, but it is really cool.
My first child on Thanksgiving turned 16. I now have a 16-year-old. He doesn't have his license yet. He was supposed to get it this week, but he was supposed to do some driver's ed stuff that he missed. So it's coming in the next week or two. I'm going to have my first driver, and his car will be a 2001 Toyota 4Runner, because we've had it. It's a great car. It's paid off. It's been sitting in our driveway. It's got 210,000 miles on it. I think it's a great car for a first-time driver.
210,000 miles.
210,000, but it's a Toyota 4Runner, and it's from a great era.
Is it the original engine, new transmission?
Oh yeah. We've replaced, a few little things. We've had it for 10 years. We paid $4,000 for it, and it just, why get rid of it? So my husband bought a new 4Runner. We've just parked, but there is part of me, if we had the money, that is tempted to like just throw him in a Tesla, and because I don't know how people, and he's done okay driving, but he was born yesterday, and it's crazy for me to put him behind the wheel of a giant thing and be like, all right, go now, drive to school, don't kill yourself or anyone around you. And he's okay driving. Like, we practiced a ton.
Yeah, you can't really learn to drive though in a full self-driving situation. And the question is just whether or not that generation is really going to need to learn how to drive. It's kind of like, calculators, like, do you really need to know how to do long division? It's nice to teach kids so they understand what's going on.
Long division.
But do you really need in your daily life to know how to do long division? The answer is no, you don't need to know how to do long division. No. But at the same time, it's really nice to actually have an understanding for what's happening when you divide something. Like, it is nice to know. So it's like, I would like my kids to drive, but I think 20 years from now, almost nobody's going to drive. Well, almost nobody under any circumstances.
The crazy thing about teaching someone to drive, because this is the first time I've done this, is I've been driving for a while now, and there's so many intuitive things you learn that you can't learn through driver's ed, and like how to it becomes second nature, but it takes a while. So when he's driving, he'll be like, oh, should I change lanes now? All these little things that you just these little antennae that you learn through osmosis as you drive a lot that he doesn't know. And it's terrifying to me to think about sticking him on the road, because he still has to ask me a lot of questions when I'm in the passenger seat. Oh, should I do this? Should I speed up? Do I turn here? How do I change lanes? We were driving the other day and the lane ended and he ended up driving himself off the road because he just didn't know how to merge. He was okay. It was fine, but it was like, oh, buddy, get over, but don't do it now. There's a car there. Like, merging is really tenuous. And so I can see if he was in a Tesla where you just beat boop up and he just goes, I don't know. It's scary, but also we all did it, right? We were all 16-year-old drivers and didn't die. So I don't know. It's scary.
Oh, I'd like to know in the comments right now, like from the people watching this show, do you have kids? Would you, if there was a 100% safe, you had 100% comfort with it, car that could drive itself, which a Tesla is not at this current stage, but if there was that, right, like a Waymo or a Tesla, would you rather your kid go to school be driven to school each day and dropped off and then picked up by this car so that you don't have to drive them? Or would you rather them learn to drive and go themselves? I know a lot of our audience is probably going to say, I'm never going to, pick up full self-driving and my kids are going to learn to drive and they're going to drive a Toyota, an older Toyota, like you're saying, Robin. I think that's just generational though. And then in the next generation of parents, it's not even going to be a question. It's going to be like,
maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll be like,
you're not even going to own cars the same way. People are just simply going to have ride hailing apps like the new Tesla robotaxi thing. And
there won't even be like an age requirement. It'll just be like, oh, my 5-year-old was able to drive to school.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there's some sort of thing with liability where it's like a 5-year-old can't go by itself unless it's your car or something like that.
Well, it'll have an Optimus.
I would love.
Yeah, the Optimus can go with them and get in.
I would love. I'm here for Waymos. Like, I know people have a hard time thinking about Ubers being replaced by self-driving cars, but I've gotten an Uber this week. I went to Vegas for one night to join my husband when he had a work trip. It was a fun trip, but I got an Uber from the airport, and this guy, it's just me, a single woman, and this guy, I actually texted my husband, if you've ever seen the movie No Country for Old Men, I said, my driver's got real Anton Chigurh energy here. He was just kind of creepy, and I would 100% get in a driverless
absolutely. I don't want my daughters getting into Ubers with
and they have the woman only option, but they also allowed trans people. So I'm probably not going to use that. I saw it on my Uber app, like it said female woman only driver, and I didn't pick it because
because you never know if you're actually going to get a woman.
It's going to be. And so, and this guy was a little creepy.
It's a little crazy that it's as accepted in society that women call cabs in the first place. You're putting yourself in a situation where it can be locked and you can be taken wherever the person wants to take you, and you can't do anything about it, really.
I always share my trip with my husband so he can follow along, and I text him the whole time I'm in the car so he knows, but terrifying. Just hop in a car.
Yeah, it is. It is something that needs to be eliminated and will be eliminated in about 5 to 10 years. You won't even have to think about it anymore. The cars will just drive themselves, and you won't have to worry about it. Yeah, exactly. So it's time for us to shift gears just a tiny bit. And this week we actually have a pink-haired breakdown that we're going to watch, and then we'll probably get into some Babylon Bee headlines, I think.
Yeah.
This one came from you, Robin. You shared this one with me.
Yeah. It's a pink-haired lady explaining some stuff. So take note, everyone. This is important.
How do I share it? That's the question.
Technology.
What buttons do I push to actually do this? There we go.
We need a robot to push our
Look
buttons.
at that pink hair. Woo! It's like, who did she vote for? You can't tell.
Trump, 100%.
Trump, absolutely.
Wait, before we even start.
Gary Johnson.
Look up here in the top left.
Is that Travis in the background on that picture?
That's me with a beard. That's right.
How many indications are there in this image right now that this is going to be a horrible opinion? I mean, there's the hair, there's the Marx drawing. I don't know what
gauge in the ear.
This symbol
Tolkien
is.
symbol.
Is that the Tolkien symbol?
Wow.
That's the one thing that's like,
That's the one thing that's
an odd vector here.
This
dog
chain
around the neck.
The dog chain's interesting.
And
the stupid ear expander thing. This little piercing that goes above the normal location for piercing. This piercing.
What do they call?
There's a lot of indications. There's
white men explain piercings.
7 indications it's going in one direction and a J.R.R. Tolkien indication of the other. But I'm surprised. This
Jeffrey Dahmer glasses.
They don't like Tolkien anymore all of a sudden.
That's true.
Yeah, there you go. I know they are. All right, here we go.
Did you know, however, there is a gender identity that is linked to the seasons? This is called gender season. And this is a gender identity I've only just learned about. It's a micro identity. It's not an identity that I have ever heard discussed before. It's a new one for me. Gender season is an individual who...
A micro identity? Now they have microaggressions and micro identities? What the heck does that mean?
Who explores the gender identity in relation to a season or all the seasons. Ooh. So this might be somebody whose gender expression and...
Wait. If you have a gender identity that is the same through all seasons, isn't that just the normal one?
Well, it changes. It fluctuates with the weather.
No, she's saying that you can have it where it just goes for all seasons. And that's just normal, right?
It's just normal.
Well, but you can still identify as a woman, though.
Right. I understand that. I'm just saying it's not gender season anymore if it goes through all seasons, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just trying to understand gender season here.
In relation to a season or all the seasons.
See?
So this might be somebody whose gender expression and identity is linked to one season. So for example, winter. Or this might be somebody whose gender identity and expression changes depending on the season.
Mm-hmm. That's me. I'm that one. I call that one.
Wait. Which one do you call?
The all seasons.
You're the all season?
Yeah.
You're normal
we're
for
all
all
gender
seasons?
season. It's just that we're...
but that's what I'm saying is that by her definition, everybody is gender season.
Right now I'm
it's
winter
not a micro. She basically just took 35 seconds to say nothing.
Really?
She said absolutely nothing.
Really?
At all.
Dan, how do you identify in the wintertime?
I actually am a furry in the wintertime because it gets very
warm.
It gets very cold. You know what's funny? I got to show you guys this clip, actually. Now that we're talking about this, I'm going to show a clip that's not for any other reason other than it's just funny.
I'm gender.
I'm going to pull it up real quick and it'll take me a second. So this is from a show, which I don't full-heartedly like say, is full-heartedly a word?
Yeah, sure.
Full-heartedly say you should go and watch this, but some of it's very funny. It's this woman, Vic, who interviews people, and it's a very funny concept for a show. She interviews people, and the comedian or the person that she's interviewing, she's not interviewing them. They come in and they get makeup done, and they're not allowed to see the makeup at all until it gets revealed. And they look in the mirror, and then they on the spot, they have 5 minutes. They have to come up with a personality and an entire backstory for this character, and it's all comedic. She has a bunch of comedians on there, but this one's an alien, and this is a really funny clip. Here you go. She's asking, would you rather be too hot or too cold? So I got to find out how to share the screen. Here we go.
You got it.
I can't make this full screen, I don't think, but here we go.
Be way too hot or way too cold.
We don't feel temperature because of alien technology.
You don't feel temperature because of alien
because
technology?
if it starts to feel too hot, we grab these garments. It's a smaller garment if it's too hot. If it's cold, it's a heavier garment to keep you warm.
So you're describing a sweater.
So you're describing a sweater. That's my gender identity. If it's too hot, I get a little furry. If it's not,
what did she call the micro identity?
I get a little tank toppy.
Micro identity.
I can't do
so
the
let's apply that to food we eat. So like if I'm eating a sub, I can have a micro identity as what?
Subgender.
Depends on what kind of sub. Is it a hero sandwich or like a Jersey Mike's? I could be Jersey Mike's sub. Gender. I love Jersey Mike's. Mike's way. I'm Mike's way gender. This is not going well.
Then you're when you're Mike's way, you're a man all the way.
I'm gonna stop right there.
There's actually one more topic that I want to discuss before we get to the headlines and then the last little section of the conversation, and that's the housing market. We have an article that's trending on our site right now. It says market expert says housing crash worse than 2008 is inevitable. Here's why, and it goes through some of the numbers. I actually hate to even think about this or talk about it. Because it just makes me sick to realize that this is seeming to be somewhat inevitable. Like, I don't understand the housing market right now at all. I'd just like to get you guys' perspective a little bit. Mr. B, you said you had a lot to say on this too. But the basic concept is that, like, all of a sudden, foreclosures have skyrocketed. Year over year, I think foreclosures are up 36%. You have all of these people who kind of bought as investments during COVID.
Yeah.
And now they own these homes and they're second homes and things like that. And already the housing market has adjusted a little bit. I think in 2025, housing prices went down 10% throughout the year of 2025, which we've seen nothing but increases over the course of the last 6-7 years. How close are we to this bubble that I have felt like it started in 2018, 2019, where housing prices are just so far accelerating beyond inflation and beyond wages. Like, I mean, you're talking about in Jupiter, Florida, where I live, there was a home that we purchased in 2015 that we sold to move into the current house that we are in, and it was in the $350,000 range. That home now, its value is like $1.4 million. It's been 10 years.
Yeah.
This is not actually worth $1.5 million. In 10 years, a home does not multiply by 5 its value, right? Like it doesn't happen. It's not real. So what is going on? What's driving it? And when is this thing gonna
it scares me for us with kids because I don't know what my kids are gonna be. We're in the same boat. We bought our house 7 years ago and it has doubled in value in 7 years, which is great for us, right?
Yeah, but it also feels fake.
It feels fake. It feels overinflated. We don't live in our house is now worth over $1 million, and it is a 1955, Rambler. But we live in a nicer neighborhood, but it is insane. And I do worry about what's going to happen with my kids. And I've seen a lot of these sort of canary in the coal mine articles about stuff. And I'm doing a little bit of this because I don't want to do 2007, 2008 again. Those were some rough years. But I worry about what it means for the economy as a whole. I'd like to hear other people's perspective too.
Well, I think that the price of houses is way beyond what people can afford. And so these houses are just sitting there. And then you have sellers who want instant gratification. Maybe some people bought their house 3 years ago and it's maybe doubled. And they're in denial about lowering the prices. So people are taking the homes off the market. Some are, but there are forced situations where people have to sell. Yeah. So, my wife and I sold our house, I guess 7 or 8 months ago. Our plan is, hey, we think that this is going to be a bubble. We sold our house and now we're renting right now, waiting for the market to go down so we can
You're
compound.
short in the market.
Yeah. So I feel like that is probably what's going to happen, but people just can't afford homes right now. So the price has to come down and we're seeing it come down.
Well, is it boosted though? Do you think? Because there's this whole conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy theory. I don't think. I think it's just a theory. But there's this theory that the reason home prices have accelerated so much is just because of the 25 million or whatever illegal immigrants who entered the country, and just they took up all of the lower level inventory, right? So it pushed your average American citizen out of that market. And so they had to go kind of up, and so they're buying houses that are more, $300,000 to $500,000 rather than $150,000 to $300,000.
But there aren't any $150,000 home. Like we bought a house.
Definitely not in Utah, and there's very few places in the country where there are any at all. I would say. Yeah.
Maybe Oklahoma
does not exist in Florida. In Florida, it's whatever is going on across the country, and you take it and you multiply it by 3.
Yeah,
is the housing prices like in Florida? And I'm not saying this like in any way, shape, or form to be like I don't know, we don't live like some sort of crazy extravagant lifestyle or anything like that. But when you start talking about like, well, how much does a nice home cost? Like I'm talking about like a home that you would expect to see a actual multimillionaire person living in. Like how much does a really nice home cost? And you're talking about in South Florida, these homes are like $9, $10, $11 million now. And it's like, multimillionaires can't afford $9, $10, $11 million. Maybe they can get into a mortgage that allows them to a 50-year mortgage for these things. But they can't afford them. And yet that's the going price down here for a home. There's like this weird gap in the market where you have the $1.4 million homes, which are really like regular family homes now. And then there's just this huge gulf, and then houses start again at like $7 million.
Crazy.
For the ones that you consider to be a luxury home, I guess you would say.
I think we need to deregulate a lot of the libertarian in me and the smart person in me says that we need to deregulate a lot of the building, especially in places like California where it's just rampant. We're looking at the Palisades fire and things like that, and people coming back in and trying to rebuild their houses, and how insane the red tape is. We need to eliminate 90% of that. Build, and get us out of this slump. It's insane. It's not sustainable.
Well, and the inventory can't be taken up by 20 million illegal immigrants for sure, right? Like,
yeah, Dan, I agree with you 100%. I think if you let 25 million people in, say that's 12 million homes or 10 million homes that are now not available, that is a shortage. And as these people are being removed or leave on their own out of this country, basic supply and demand is going to bring prices down.
I hope so. And prices coming down, I think, is a good thing, by the way. Like, I don't want there to be a market crash to the point that everybody is financially devastated, like what happened in 2008. But unfortunately, to a certain extent, that's going to happen.
There's going to be a correction for sure. There has to be a correction.
And a lot of times, it's going to be people who decided to purchase a home at just the wrong time that are going to be screwed over by this. Like, I feel bad. There's people who, are purchasing homes that purchased a home a year ago, and unfortunately it seems to be probably like it was at its peak at that point in time. And some people, like you said, Mr. B, like they don't have a choice of when they did that in their lives, a lot of them.
Yep.
But the reality of it is that the correction can be very, very ugly depending upon when you did purchase the home. But I don't know.
It's going to happen over a 2 or 3 year period.
I feel like it has to happen, and it's not even like it has to be corrected 20%. These homes, that house that I'm talking about that we owned before our current home is not even it's not a $500,000 home, and it is right now valued at and listed at $1.4 million, and it is not even a $500,000 home. It's a 2,000 square foot concrete block home with a eighth of an acre lot or something
sold.
Like that. And it's like, okay, because it's in Florida, it's $1 million minimum, and since it's in a nice neighborhood, it's 1.4. It's like, that's not real. That's ridiculous. And there was a statistic that came out that said that now 10% of Americans are millionaires, right? And I'm looking at that statistic, and I'm like, that's completely fake statistic too, because what they're valuing is people's homes, right? Like, we have this fake inflationary home value. Yeah, not even necessarily equity. I think that this statistic had to be looking at simply home value. And the reality is they're not millionaires. They own a home. Their bank owns a home that is worth $1 million in their name, right? Like, that's basically what it is. Or the bank has a lien on a home that they own. For $1 million, but I don't think they're actually millionaires. Their home value has just gone up to $1 million even. And these people, that are paying 30-year mortgages and are only a couple years into it, don't have that much equity in the home. They don't have $1 million of equity in the home. Anyway, I don't know. I guess they could because the inflationary value is over top of what they paid for it a couple of years ago. But anyway,
it's going to be interesting to watch over the next 2 to 3 years for sure.
It's an interesting thing because I think when you don't have a home, you're like, oh man, I hope there's a bubble burst because then all the prices will come down and I can get a home finally. And when you have a home, you're like, this bubble needs to keep expanding because I want my house to be worth something. Yeah.
Yeah, when you own a home, it feels really good to have a net worth that's inflated. But that's what I'm saying is it's a fake inflation. You're not actually a millionaire just because your $500,000 home is currently called a $1.5 million home on paper.
Might be time to sell.
Unless you sell it, right? Like then if you sell it and you realize that, well, then you can be called a millionaire, right? Like, but you're not a millionaire just because of unrealized inflation in a house.
But it sounds good.
It does sound good. It does sound good.
The millionaire and his wife on Gilligan's Island, they didn't own a home. They just, their home was worth a lot because of inflation.
Their home was Gilligan's Island.
It became Gilligan's Island. All right, let's look at some featured and some published headlines, and then we'll wrap it up.
All right, this headline comes from Unlocked Milk. This is a featured headline. American patriots in Minnesota paint their doorways red, white, and blue so that ice will pass over their houses.
Okay.
I get it. That's great.
I think we've done like 9 jokes like that, though, I feel like on the Babylon Bee with people passing over their houses.
It's our third joke is Passover stuff.
Yeah, Passover stuff, yep.
From far north, Trump only needs one more peace deal before getting free taco.
I love that. And that image is
I love
great.
that too. Oh man. You could also like repivot that to be like one more deportation or something.
Yeah.
The joke is because they're Mexican. From Sean Fuchsius. Wow. Okay. Sean Fuchsius. I guess he's a philosopher. Family receives free subscription to Cold of the Month Club.
Aww, well, good.
I feel that we have had everything this year.
This was the one that we read last time, and I still love it. Toddler's pathetic story going nowhere.
Yeah, we did read that this time. That's good.
All right, let's go to published. All right, so these are the published headlines from the last couple of weeks where our subscribers submitted these, and they actually got published on our website.
All right. Bad Night reports Vikings rebrand as the Minnesota Pirates.
So
there's
our actual headline read, Minnesota Vikings change name to Minnesota Somali Pirates.
From far north again, total loser doesn't create giant fireball while frying turkey.
Oh, our second frying turkey joke of the day. I like that. What did we actually publish? We published Family Holding Out Hope. This will finally be Thanksgiving where turkey explodes in epic fireball. Oh, we kind of changed it entirely.
It's pretty different. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the LaCroix of that headline. Mm-hmm. The essence.
From Captain Adam, pardoned turkey has over 50 prior arrests.
That's good.
That's good. It's also sad. How do we publish it? Turkey pardoned by Biden administration 4 times commits violent turkey murder. Well, we went dark on that one. We got the turkey mugshot.
I kind of like this one. This is
I got
clean.
I got to write that article, and they edited it even more because I went really dark on it, where he answered the door in a turkey suit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's a turkey skin suit. Come on.
Oh, a turkey skin suit.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, a little Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, well, Ed Gein. Yeah.
Jeez.
He made chairs out of turkey skin.
Jeez. All right. Anyway.
From the Big Freeze, Trump revokes last year's turkey pardon due to auto pen use.
That's good.
Hashtag bad headlines Sundays. And yet we published it.
We published it. What did we publish it as? I think it was close to that, wasn't it? Trump to execute all turkeys pardoned by Biden's auto pen. That's great. All right. That's it for headlines for the week. You got any last minute little personal questions here, Mr. B?
Yeah, Travis, if you could swap places with one of the 2 hosts of this podcast during the podcast, who would you choose, Robin or Dan, and why?
Do you mean physical location or like body swap?
Let's do body swap.
I don't want to do a body swap.
It's like
I wanna be
13.
me.
This is like 13 going on 30.
Freaky Friday, yeah.
I guess I would choose Dan because then I'm still.
He would know how to pee standing up still.
It would just be slightly less awkward, I think. Plus,
how do you know Robin doesn't pee standing up?
I don't.
Only during the winter.
Yeah,
Yes.
when I'm winter gender.
Yeah, it depends on her gender season.
I mean, that's so bad. We should just end it there. That's fine. I love it.
With the baby laughing on my lap.
Oh.
I see a little top of a head there.
I know. This is real life, you guys. This is there was some babysitting issues the last minute, and apparently the Curious George episode that I put on just wore off. So.
Oh, man, Curious George. My kids used to watch that a lot, and that monkey's way too smart.
It is the only show I let my Curious George and Bluey are the only two shows I let my toddlers watch. We are very, very selective about what they watch.
Mr. B, do you have anything else, or are we through for the week?
We are through for the week.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you guys for joining us again. Like, comment below, subscribe, hit the bell. You know the drill. And join us next week on Beyond Parody. Thanks.
And if you don't do that, you don't love the baby.
That's a huge, honest question. I won't give you some vague, feel-good answer. Here's the most people